So, who are you when life gets hard? Who are you when things are not going your way? The whole world it feels like, is against you. You continue to mess up, you continue to fail, you continue to just mess it all up. You're trying your best and deep inside you're trying your best, you're doing the best that you can. But my question for you is, in those really, 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 really difficult times, in those times where it just feels impossible to keep going, right? It feels like it's just hard, there's no way out, there's no sense of purpose in the thing that you're doing anymore. Who are you in those situations? How do you react? How do you act? And what are your actions following those things that happen in your life? I ask you that question because your current reality is based off of how you reacted to those things. Let me go deeper. Whenever things go bad and things are just not going your way, do you just drop the ball and you're like, I can't do this anymore, I have to get out of here? Do you just fold and crumble and you're just like, I don't know what to do, I'm gonna go hide? Or do you actually look at your fear in the eye, look at what it is that you're facing, the giant you're facing, whatever it is, and do you actually go right through it and face what you need to face to come out on the other side? Or do you actually crumble and just hide from your problems? What do you do? I want to know. Because you guys, when I would say a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, it was like in the middle of the semester. I had started the semester pretty strong, I would say, and I was doing really good. And then in the middle of the semester, I ended up, specifically in this one class, I actually did okay in most of my other classes throughout the semester. But specifically in this one math class, I was struggling to the core, you guys. I remember going to this class during that time where I would come out defeated, just completely frustrated that I didn't understand anything that I just learned, just super upset and just like helpless. I would leave the class like that, devastated, and I'm very stubborn, so like when stuff like this happens, I'm just like, what do I do to make it better? And so I remember just so being defeated and all this thing. And one of these days, during that time, because it was like mid-semester, so this is after like we took our second exam. And I remember I did okay on my first exam, but I did pretty bad on the second one. And this is leading up to the third exam and then following our final exam. I was devastated. I came out of that class again just completely defeated, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I was telling everyone around me and my family and everything, I'm like, I think I'm gonna fail this class. I've already passed the deadline for dropping the class. There is no hope for me. If I fail this class, it's gonna like ruin my GPA and the future, whatever. And I just was so defeated. I remember, like, this is so crazy, guys, because a lot of us are going through life like this, just completely defeated with whatever it is that we're facing. But I remember that day I came out of that class, and it's so funny, I'm not even joking, guys. I saw a reminder on my phone. I have this app where it's like positive reminders of like Bible verses and like positive words and all these things. And I just remember seeing the Lord gives strength to his people. And I'm gonna be so dramatic right now, but you guys, I promise this is really what happened. I remember looking at that and I just felt like my whole problem was solved. Like, I was good to go. Like, I didn't need to do anything else. I was like, I'm all set, like everything is gonna be fine. I don't know why, but I read that, and of course every time I read that app, if something sticks out to me, I'll go directly to the Bible and I'll read a whole Bible verse of what that was. And in that Bible verse, it was talking about how like the Lord gives strength to his people. And like and at that time I was doing the YouTube video where we talked about how the Lord, his strength is shown through our weakness, all these things. So I was like, oh my God, it's all connecting, everything is just making sense, it was at the right time, everything, right? I got out of that class and I literally went home and I just was studying as hard as I can. And after I left that class that day, like I just studied different, completely different. And I had been studying prior, but this was different. Like I just was doing everything with much more intensity, and I was like, I have to pass this class. I don't even care if I don't pass. I don't care about the outcome. Right now I have like, you know, the exam and then the final exam for me to make up my grade, and I don't even care about the grade. I have to focus on what's in front of me, and I have to focus on how well I can do, since all the circumstances at this point are pointing to either I fail the class or I pass it. So I was like, you know what? If I don't pass, I'm going to take accountability for the fact that I did the best that I can and accept the consequences of not studying hard enough before and just deal with what comes. Like at this point, there's nothing I can do other than the fact that just go hard. Just go lock in and go hard. And I did that, and I am happy to announce that I literally, this semester ended last week, and I passed that class with an A, which, and I'm not telling this story to tell you guys my grade. Like grades mean nothing. It literally means nothing. And a lot of the time society makes us feel like if we don't make good grades, we're not good enough, all these things, and it's not that. If that was the case, let me not let you guys see my grades because let's just be real here, right? And I'm not telling you guys that for that reason. I'm telling you guys because there's power in the deep knowing of the resource that you have. There's power in the idea of us having grace through the Lord. We have that. It's accessible for us. It's right there. We can access it because the Lord has provided that for us, right? It's very important whenever you're going through these hard times to know that God gives you strength. And it's not through your own power or your own will or what you can do that you can push through this thing and pass it and get through it. Actually, it's through working hard, putting in the work, doing the best that you can, and knowing that even if you don't end up getting the thing, even if you don't end up getting the outcome that you want, which we talked about. I talk about this a lot on my channel. Like, you have to stop obsessing with the idea of the outcome. That's when we lose the fun and we even lose the essence of the process. We have to enjoy the process and we have to go through the process to get to where we need to get through, because in the process is where the magic happens. In the process is where we grow. So I wanted to pose the question, who are you in those situations? Because if you're going to fold and you're just gonna let the enemy win of this lie that the enemy is feeding you, what's the point? But it's when you actually use those times to turn it around and make it work for you. You cannot let these things defeat you, and you cannot let these things overcome you. You have to hold on to the thing that you started with, which is, for me, it's always God. And every single time I found myself in chaos, or I find myself in places that I do not want to be, mentally, physically, in any shape or form, it is because I'm not consulting the Lord. It is because He's not in the plans that I have made for myself. He's not been part of it. I have not been talking to Him. I have not been consulting Him. I have not been getting advice from Him. That communionship, that relationship that you have with God, it's important, and it is not just whenever you need something from him. And I'm not perfect, trust me. I am going through the same exact thing that you are, and it's very, very hard because we're human and our default setting is just to be this way. It's unfortunate, but this is how we are. We only go to God whenever it's convenient for us. We only go to God when we need something from him. It cannot be a transaction with him. It cannot. That's whenever you find yourself in a mess that you could have completely avoided in the first place. Life is a mess. And that's what makes it real. And that is what makes it what it is. And for us to try to fix that, and for us to try to shape it in the way that we think it's supposed to be, it's ridiculous. We have to let life happen. We have to let it flow in the way that it's supposed to flow, so that we're learning what we need to learn, moving on, and going to where we need to be going. You may be in the same exact situation, just ready to give up. You have reached your limit, and you feel like there's just no point in keep going. But guys, it's all about the story that we tell ourselves. It's all about the mindset that we have. If you're sitting there and you're beating yourself up, because that's really what happened to me, right? I'm already like, what can I lose by believing in myself and saying I'm gonna give it all I got and then we'll see what happens? What can I lose from that? Nothing. I have to just lock in, right? And so a lot of us are going through this life, and when hard things happen to us, we're just like, there's so many ways that we respond. It's either we hide from our problems, we automatically just medicate in different ways, however way that is for you, your coping mechanism, or we just completely just blind ourselves from the situation, and we go through life with blinds. I don't understand how that can be, because it's very important to have intention in every single thing that you do. You have to have intention, and your mindset and the story you're telling yourself is going to create the reality of your current situation. If the story you're telling yourself is, oh, I'm just not gonna make it through, there's no way for me to get through this. And I'm not talking about not experiencing these emotions. If there's anything about me, one thing about me is I'll say feel what you need to feel. But there's a difference in feeling what you need to feel and letting your feelings control you and letting your feelings lead you. You have to let God lead you. You have to let him show you the way. You cannot let your feelings lead your destiny. You cannot just let that happen. You have to let God do that for you. There's a few times where I've asked God something and he gives it to me, or maybe he doesn't give it to me. And in the situation that he doesn't give me what I asked for, I find myself frustrated, and I'm like, why are you not giving me what I want right now? Why are you? And then I will question him, and then I find myself frustrated. But one thing about me, I always correct myself, and I always catch myself, and I'm like, wait, hold on. God didn't give you that thing because there's a reason for that. Maybe you're not ready for it. Maybe you're just missing something. There's a reason for, if you don't have something right now, you're not supposed to have it. If you don't have something right now, it's not there. You cannot have it yet. There's a reason for that. Some of us want boyfriends, but we know we're not ready. Some of us want a job. We know we're not ready for that job. Deep inside, if we sit with ourselves, we're not ready for it. And that's why it's very important, whenever you feel like giving up, whenever you feel like you can't go on anymore, resort back to why you started, and resort back to God. Really resort back to him, because let me tell you, the reason why you have been so far off the road that you're supposed to be in the first place is because you started with God, now you're in the middle, and God is nowhere to be found. Why? Because you left him in the beginning. You left him where you started. He's not there. God has to be there every step of the way. We ask God for something and he makes it happen, and we're in the journey of that, and then we forget God. How can we do that when when he's always there with us? He's waiting for us to come back to him. And honestly, like, this is like, my relationship with God has been like this, and I cannot even lie. It has been like this, where I'm always starting something with him, and along the way I'm sometimes forgetting to consult him in decision makings. And but one thing about me, I always correct myself and I always go back. That's the best part. And another thing I found is that, like, I used to get so upset and so frustrated when I do this, and I want to tell you guys, like, it's okay. Like, it is okay to get off track for a second. It's okay to get frustrated with the Lord a little bit sometimes, but you cannot expect to be perfect all the time. Nobody's perfect. It's okay to mess up a little bit sometimes with the Lord. He understands, he forgives us, he has grace right there every single time for us. We cannot be perfect, you guys. We cannot. We are human. We're going to mess up. And do you know how many times you're gonna mess up? Guys, do you know how many times there are things that are not gonna work in your life? Do you know how many times things that you thought were gonna be set for life are not gonna end up working out? There's gonna be a lot of times. But my whole point with this video is how you respond to these things are very important. Something happens, how do you respond? Do you crumble, fold, and just hide from it? Or do you actually face it and do what you need to do? Which one is it gonna be? And the mindset that you have throughout all of this is very important. And what we're telling ourselves when we go through stuff like this is very important, because your deep knowing of who you are as a person also plays a big role in this. If you don't know who you are and something happens and it confuses you, you're gonna be confused and you're gonna continue to be confused. That is why you have to stay firm in the Lord. He has to be your foundation, and you have to have something to resort back to. Because if you don't resort back to him, then if you don't have that source, then it's going to be very difficult for you to recover from whatever it is that you just went through. So having God as the firm foundation of who you are as a person is important, because one thing is, we're human and we're always going to mess up and we're always going to feel like giving up, and life just makes us want to not keep going. But when you have God with you, when you have him leading you, and when you're consulting him in every situation, that's when things are beautiful. That's when things actually make sense. And you live a beautiful and fulfilled and purposeful life. I just made this video because I feel like even with my YouTube channel, I have been feeling a little challenged, I would say. I think the more we're growing, actually, it's getting a little bit more difficult each time. Because again, my biggest thing is I would never want to portray a picture where everything looks perfect and I have my whole entire life figured out. And I'm just yelling at you from this video camera where you're sitting on the other side and I have all the answers. That's never the case. I'm not perfect. I mess up. There are things that I do wrong in my life every single day. And guess what? Just like you guys, I'm a human being and I mess up. And you know, the best thing I found for myself is every single time there is disorder or there is some kind of chaos or something happening that I know is not part of what I'm supposed to be, it's because I have stepped away from the Lord. It's because I have gone a little bit far from him and I'm not consulting him in these things, and he's not part of my decision makings. That's when things get a little crazy for me. And so I always resort back to him and I ask him to forgive me, because if he's a graceful, forgiving God, that's always gonna be able to do that for us. And that's what I've been talking about in my last videos. And it's true, like God, this is what he does. He just waits for us patiently. Patiently, you guys. So many times we mess up when we do things, and he just sits there and he waits. So next time you feel like giving up, don't. Don't. Because if you woke up this morning and you're breathing, God is not done with you. There is something that you have to be doing. There is something that the Lord has your name on it with. And you have to keep going every day. Same reason why I continue to show up on this YouTube channel for you guys. I continue to show up every single week, not because I have extra time and I want to post and I want to do this and all. Yes, this is my passion. I love doing this. But it's not enough that. It's the fact that the Lord has called me to do something. And while I don't actually even like putting myself out in this way in the public eye like this, I'm doing it because I have a calling and the Lord has put something with my name on it for me to do. And if I don't show up every week for you guys and speak what the Lord is asking me to speak, then I'm not living to my fullest potential. I'm not living to my great knowing that's within me, because there is a great knowing within me that I've been told that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I need you to find that for yourself, guys. I need you to find that thing that you know you have a greater, deep knowing that you're supposed to be doing. Every second of the day, or every day that you wake up, make sure you do something with that. Make sure that you are investing in that. Make sure that you are living to your fullest potential. Okay? Life is so consuming, you guys. It takes from us in every shape and form. And sometimes when that happens, it just makes us want to give up on our dreams and things that we want to do and what the Lord has called us to do. But we cannot do that. When we have that deep knowing that God is right there by our side, pushing us to get us to where we are supposed to be, then we can keep going. Then we know that we're supposed to be here. Then we know there's a greater purpose than whatever this is. Be grateful in the present moment that you're at, the life you have right now. Be thankful for that. Appreciate God for it. I saw a quote that said, thank God for everything you have before you ask him for anything else. And then I saw another quote that said, go to God first before you go anywhere else. And I literally live by these principles, because this is how life is, guys. If you don't consult God first in these things that you're going, you experience so much chaos and just disrupt in your life. It's insanity. And I've had it in my life, so I'm telling you, there's so much peace that comes with just speaking to God, telling him your mind. If you're upset, if you're mad, if you're angry, like, feel what you need to feel. If you feel like giving up, tell God. Tell God. Tell him, I have tried everything. I've been going. I've been doing this. There's no progress. What do? I can't do this anymore. Tell him. He will listen to you. He will take it in, and he will give you exactly what you're supposed to have, which is the number one thing right now you need. At this point, you're watching this video, you need peace in your life, okay? You need some peace before you do anything else, because after the peace comes everything else. Seek first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be added to you. I don't think there's there's a better quote in this world than that, a verse in this world than that, because if you just seek God and you speak to him and you do these things with him first, even thinking about these things will give you peace. That's just what I've experienced in my life. And I know when I feel like giving up and the enemy tells me all this lies, that this is not going to work out, this is not going where it needs to go, this is whatever, you know what I tell the enemy? I say, get behind me, get behind me. Actually, this is not what the Lord says. This is what the Lord says to me. He has this thing with my name on it, and therefore that is the thing I'm gonna follow. I'm not listening to this lie. Don't sit there and listen to the enemy's lie to you. Do not do that, because why would you? Why would you? Anything negative, by the way, guys, anything negative that comes to us is not from God. It's from the enemy, and we don't listen to that. Do you know why we don't listen to that? Because God says completely something else. If the enemy tells you this isn't going to work out, this is not going to go anywhere, guess what? God says he's got a plan for you, a plan to make you prosper. So why would I sit there and listen to the enemy lie to me? I've done that enough in my life. Life as it is enough for me to go through. So like, why am I listening to the enemy? Here's what you have to do when you feel like giving up. You have to speak positive words into you. Resort back to, retrace your steps, guys. Retrace your steps and go back to the point where things went south and find out what it is that is your deep knowing that you know you're supposed to do, because nobody else, I cannot know for you. God, nobody else can know for you. Only you and God knows. You know deep inside exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and you know why you don't have to give up right now. You know you can't give up right now. And so go deep in that. Find out, dig deep in that and find out what that is. And that is your key to keep going. That is your key to show up. And listen to me. If you're up this morning, you woke up, you had breath. You had breath. That means the Lord is not done with you. He's got a thing with your name on it, and you cannot give up right now. Because you giving up is you're letting the enemy win. And you're not going to do that today, because this video is right here to remind you so. That is all that I have to say. I want you guys to keep going. I want you to keep fighting for your dreams. I want you to continue to do what it is that you have to do. Listen to me. Things don't have to work out. The outcome doesn't matter, you guys. Truly, it doesn't matter. Like I have always said in my videos, and I'm going to continue to say it, you have to fall in love with the process and enjoy the process. Learn what you need to learn in the process. Be present with the process and indulge in that, okay? And I don't think indulge is the right word, but you get the point. Get in there and be immersed with that. Fall in love with that and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Even when you feel like giving up, sit with that feeling for a second. Why do you want to give up? You know, tell God. There's no one else you need to tell, actually. Just tell God and he will tell you exactly what you have to do. A lot of the times we like literally skip steps and we go anywhere but God. Listen, you've missed the most important step out you can ever take. You've missed the most important step you can ever take. Just go to God. Go to him, straight to him. Go straight to him and he will show you what you're supposed to do. That has been my motto for life lately and will always continue to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I decided to do my hair like this today because I'm about to straight it and I just got out of the shower and it dried and I was like, let them see me in my natural habitat. And this is really what I look like whenever I am out of the shower and my hair has been blow dried by the air. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't give up on your dreams and the thing that you believe in. Even if it doesn't work out, I don't care. I don't care, guys. It doesn't matter. Guess what? Through the process, you learned something. You got something out of that process. And that is what you have to fall in love with, not just the outcome. Not just the outcome. The outcome is a bonus. It's a bonus. It's the process that we must fall in love with. And there is where you find true fulfillment and contentment. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on my next one. Thank you for watching.